Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Jumpstart. I am Jason Meyer, and I just realized one of my lights are out. That's why I look so dark. What are you doing out there, buddy? Let's see if we can remedy that. Maybe a little bit. All right. So this morning we're going to go kind of full tilt. We're going to start with a study, and then we're going to go look at a portrait, and we're going to finish up, I'm hoping, having a bit of a conversation about candlelight. And that's going to lead to a conversation about measure. And we're going to see some examples of that and see if we can't use that to apply to some work here. All right, so we got Janny up first, Tom's portraits up next, and we'll have Wendy's still life that we'll look at the candlelight in. All right, so good Thursday, Janny. Hello, Miss Claudia. Good to see your smiling face. And Cindy's taking care of us all. Thank you, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's get going so we got more time for this candlelight. More time for the candlelight. So why don't we head into Janny's orange study and see what we can find. A little do-si-do's in order there. That guy's too big. Get him out of the picture. There we go. There we go. All right. So, Janny, I actually remember the first landscape you sent in to me when we first started doing this during quarantine on Facebook. And it was a desert landscape, and you had almost like a semicircular flat thing in the top and looking out among the mountains. And it's incredible now, a year, maybe less than a year later, I don't know, somewhere around there. You literally have more dimension in two oranges than you did in that landscape, right, with the mountain view. So fun to watch. So fun to watch. Let's see if we can't really see what's going on here. Right? I like one of the first things I really like to do is just disorient everything. Forget oranges, forget it all. Forget it all. What are the values and what are the colors and where does my eye go? Right? It doesn't have to be objects, but where does my eye go? Go to the glow. The glowing gems. The glowing gems. And Miss Shakti, I'm good to hear from you. How are you feeling this morning? How are you feeling? Shakti and I both got our first dose yesterday. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. All right, so Janny, it looks like you and I are done here. Why don't you put a price on it? Sell it to one of these bidders here, and go ahead and send me my 10%. We'll take the rest of the day off. No, really, I mean, in all honesty, so much great stuff is happening here. So much really great stuff. So let's talk about it. And again, it's honestly, Jenny, it really is great. But unfortunately, that's not what I'm here for. I wish I could tell you it was great, give you a hug and kiss, and move on. Oh, but I know you want more than that. You want more than that. All right, I do too. That's why we're all here. That's why we're all here. So, oh, so she does have the sore arm. Ouch. All right. Well, I hope it's not in your drawing arm, Shakti. I hope you managed to get the other arm. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things here. And one of the things I want to talk about is some of you are getting to the point to where we can bring our values a little closer, right? Generally, when I teach, I just insist, no, put those highlights white, put that dark black. Nope, nope, just white, dark. And the reason I insist that is because people have such trouble with values that the only hope to get 4 values in order is to stick 2 of them on the opposing end to have the maximum room for your color and your gray. Right? Then as you get your feet under you, man, boom, there's a dark, a gray will fit in there, and so you can just slide those things into smaller and smaller slots. And as you get that, then we can start talking about bringing more color and light, because I know a lot of you feel like there's heaviness in the dark. Okay? So let's see if we can't satisfy that feeling from some of you. Okay? So this looks like this was orange on black and white. And now I do see some warm and cool in that background. So you can correct me, but there's not a lot of color, or if you did use the blue or the purple background, it's really, really grayed down. So good job on the background color, right? On the background color. For me, the background value is still a little bit much. I gotta be delicate with this because, well, let's try it. Let's see, right? Let's see. So what's gonna happen? Let's see, what is this right here? All right. So this is at 53% total grayness. So let's try a couple of things. The first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to take this from blue to orange. Okay, let's see if that had any effect on it. See if that had any effect. Do you guys see what just happened there? This is extreme. In one sense, it's extremely subtle, and in another sense, it's not subtle at all. So let's go back and look at this color wheel. So I brought it over here to orange, right? It's still a basically complete gray, 2%. You had it over here at blue, right? So this is the perfect start to the candlelight talk, because some of these movements, we don't want to go orange blue, right? Oh, I love you, you freaking jerk. It's too much. It's too much. So that blueness has a little bit of a harshness to it, right? It kind of cuts those things out. Now it can be good for clarity, right? But let's go back and see. So what we're doing is we're completely going from blue to orange. So that's the completely obvious part. The subtle part is that we're doing it with almost absolute gray. So what if we kind of cleaned all of this up too? Do we still get that sharpness without the disharmony? And to me, I think yes. I think yes. Okay, good. So the background is black and white, but she said red is showing in the photo. Okay, so that's good to know. Again, the photos don't always come out true. So take everything I'm saying with the point I'm making, right? If your painting doesn't look like what I'm working on, don't go do exactly what I do. You'll have to adjust it for your thing. Okay, I'm not sure if anybody got that, but I'm going to go over it one more time because it's huge. Instead of going blue in the gray, I switched it over to orange, but it's nearly completely. So how would you do that? How would you do that if you're doing just black and white? Well, what you do is you do black and white, then you take just a kiss of this color. Just the kiss of this color and stick it in that black and white. Okay, and what it does is then it just immediately relates that background to it. Okay? And, oh, a dirty, well, you know, if it's a dirty brush with what you already have in there, Janny, that actually harmonizes it, and it's a good thing. I don't know, you can correct me, but I'd be surprised if you see that red dot. Like, I see almost a red dot there. That I'm going to imagine that doesn't show up on the painting. That looks to me like a photo aberration. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And then let's see. So what happens if we take that warm gray? If we take that warm gray, and what if we knock it down from 53% to 46%? And again, these colors these values may be much more subtle. I'm sure they are in the painting. So when you're walking that line, you just have to be careful that those background colors don't start taking on the oranges. Now, if we need the oranges to not feel kind of so tight, like if it's part of a bigger piece, right, that will release a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? What else do we have here? What if and you may have already done this, but what if you took your black I don't know what's on your canvas. If you have a red is good for this, but even just like black and orange. Okay, so what have I done? We've grayed the background just a little bit, right? Made it a little bit darker, and we made it warm instead of cool. And then we added color, or made the shadow value more colorful. Okay. All right. Overall, I think this is very, very good, Janny. So I do want to talk about, because I know this is a common misunderstanding, and it looks like Janny got it right here. When we have a sphere, the light's coming in from here, the highlight tells us so. The shadow is here. The parts of the light, and let's see if these things don't look more solid when I finish this. So this is a high-end form lesson. So your color goes here, which means a darker, richer color. And then up here, we want a little bit lighter, grayer. And then the highlight will happen on the corner of those two. And we need a hard edge somewhere where this starts. Okay? And she's included a little bit here, but a last part you can put in, well, I shouldn't say last part. Another part you could put in here is a halo. Right? In other words, show that that light is so brilliant that it hits there and then it bounces off, giving a slight glow in the air. Okay? What is a slight glow in the air, you might ask? Well, why don't we take a little sneak preview, sneak peek at what we're going to look at later. A slight glow in the air. Right, a slight glow in the air. A slight glow in the air. A slight glow in the... Now, I'm not talking about glow right now. We're talking about halo. I was talking about light hitting an object and bouncing off. These are light sources. So if there's a light source, it's going to have somewhat of a glow. So let me ask you a question, if I may. Why does that nose glow? Why do these eyes glow? Why do these knuckles glow? Is there some way you have to handle paint to make things glow? I thought you were talking about halo. What's all this light? What's all this glow and stuff? Why do you keep doing that to me? Makes me so mad. So wherever is really getting your light, is catching the light, maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 oranges. What if we treated those a little bit more like a light source? So I'm going to just slightly brighten this up a little bit. And I'm going to begin to get my hard edge. Now the question is how much of a hard edge. But did you see how that little bit of a hard edge right there, boom, gave this thing some structure? Not only that, but I've carried this color all the way over. If you make too many changes as you go over to the edge, the thing's going to look too tunnel-like, and it won't have the strength. It won't have the strength we need it to have. Now I can always come back in here if I want to say, yeah, but this part is really forward. Well, if I need to do that, what I would do is I would come back here and then just pump this up a little bit. Okay, again, this was kind of subtle, so hopefully you guys saw that. All right, and then we were back down here, and what are we doing? We're doing lighter, grayer, slightly cooler on top. But again, we need that hard edge where we start. And we can start to lose that edge as it turns away into the shadow. And then what I would do, well, this will get stronger if we make this bigger. One way to make this bigger is to join it with that. If you can join this piece and this piece, instantly you're stronger because you go from 2 down to 1 piece, to 1 larger piece, right? And so this larger piece will have more impact. You see, can you feel how it almost feels like these are getting swallowed just a little bit? Now, I'm being really hard on Janny. I'm being really hard on Janny, guys. I mean, we're talking high-level stuff, okay? So, good. So, Susan can see the difference. Good, 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 good. Orange in the top. Okay. Good. Good, 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 good. Made it beautiful. Yeah. Good. So she said, yeah, I used black and orange, and it made a beautiful mahogany. You know, with these darks, especially with black, think about adding a touch or a little bit of any cadmium color, like any especially one that you're already using in the painting. It'll take those blacks from dead and dark and start getting some color and life and infinity, transparency to them. Okay? All right. Losing the edge turns into shadow. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, guys, so I honestly want to stay here and keep painting because this, for me, right here in what we're talking about is where it gets so fun. Where it gets so fun. Because these little things can turn these seemingly, oh, yeah, it's a study, into, whoa, look at that. Right? And that's always what we're after is the, whoa, look at that. Well, not all. I mean, right, there's different things. So let's see how this helped, hurt. Oh, we got to do a halo too. See, there's so much to do. How do we not get lost? Okay, so a little bit darker in the background, a little more color in my shadows. Notice my shadows appear slightly green. Slightly green, don't they? Let's see, let's go back. I think the shadows were down here. So look, I noticed that is slightly green. So what can I do is let's slide this a little redder. Does that feel better? So much, it's just these little movements. It's just these little movements that really do make such a difference. Reflected light can make a huge difference. Okay, Janny. So I hope I gave you some ideas. Super, super proud of you. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Um, just fantastic. Just fantastic. So, halo and air. Should we finish this thing off with some halo and air? Now I don't know if my layers are going to mess me up here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the opacity down. I just put a touch of an orange glow in there. Touch of an orange glow. Then why don't we pick up some air here, maybe a little dirty air so it's not too cold. Some air that maybe got a little bit of that orange in it. And then I know we're going to have to darken that down because of the value. And let's see if that'll fit right next to our shadow. See if that'll fit right next to our shadow to help release the eye and open, because this is where you want those edges open, right there. Right as that turns under, goes into air before we hit the shadow. That's where your open edges go. So I've got some hard edges still on the interior of this thing. Hard edges around the highlight, hard edges around the blanch to the color, hard edges from the color to the air. I've got hard edges from the air to the shadow. I've got hard edges from the shadow to the reflected light. So if you guys didn't follow that, what I just said was I got hard edges, I've got hard edges, I've got hard edges, I've got hard edges, and I've got hard edges on the interior of this object. We want to save hard edges for starts and stops. So everything internally, unless it's another form on top of a form like a nose, but a single form that's round, sphere, is going to have all soft edges in here. Okay, and that will make a big difference. But allowing for that, do you see the difference in how much more alive? Because we've got blanched, we got halo, we have highlight, we have color, we have air, we have shadow, we have reflected light. Oops. We have reflected light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is why you are going to focus here. One of the reasons you will focus here. Okay? Now, Janny's got some of these beautiful steps in there, but the measure's not quite there. The measure could be better, let's say. I don't want to say not quite there because this is a beautiful work without doing any of this. Okay, but again, the question is, what's next? And so I tried to answer that question for Janny and show everybody else here, you know, what's down the road. What's down the road? All right, hats off, Janny. Hats off. I've never seen two oranges look so good. Man. Man, man, man. All right, you are very welcome. You are very welcome. You make the left orange feel in front of the other orange. Okay, I wasn't going to say this because this was another thing. But let's talk about it because this is fundamental. This is fundamental. I don't like this gap. I don't like this gap, and the reason I don't like that is because it pushes that separation. So instead of being kind of next to one another and affecting so much, which you have, it becomes more of a pure kind of, what I want to say, silhouette, right? So when you do this, generally what you're doing is you're going to have some sort of silhouette here setting you up to go back there. Okay? Because the reason you do that is because once you've separated this space in here, once you've separated, what you're doing now is we're no longer 1, but you're headed back to 2. Headed back to multiplicity. And again, the more things I talk about, like if I tell you about color and all the things about color and the hue and the things, and I tell you about edges and the soft and the hard and the lost, and then I tell you about the values and at one point you're lost. So rather than going more, if we can go less, you're going to feel stronger. Okay? And again, if you're going to do this silhouette thing, it works best if this whole thing is silhouetted. All right, now do you see how much more effective you get back to that other thing? Now it doesn't make much sense right here unless all this was all shadowed too, right? Because how is that going to be in shadow and cast a shadow? Okay, and there's no way you can know it, but you're saying and doing all those and making all those decisions by leaving that little bitty space right there between the two shadows. Okay? And by kind of offsetting so greatly the bottom of those. Okay, so there is the problem. So what is the solution? So if we'll bring this down, then first thing we're going to trap that negative shape, which is going to make our oranges feel much more solid. Okay, and then the other thing it will do, I'm going to have to make this a little bit larger now, is now we can come right off this shadow, right off that shadow, because it is touching this. And we can turn that into a hard straight edge. Do you feel the difference there? Okay. Again, that's some we're doing a bunch of high level stuff really quickly here, guys. But I think the best way to learn this high level stuff is to be exposed to it first. You're not going to get it first. Okay. And let's get exposed to it and exposed to it and exposed to it and practice. Oh, this was a slight misunderstanding. That's a hard edge. Oh, you went warm here. You should have gone cool. Right? And that's how you guys become artists that I'm going to be mad I ever taught anything to. All right, Janie. Good job. Good job. Yeah, the lower part opening the edge. Boom. Right there. Good. Yeah, oh, excellent. You know, that makes me so happy. People understand what I'm saying. Okay, I think it's time to move on because we got candlelight to get to. But everything we just talked about, you're going to see, we're going to come back to that in candlelight. So Mr. Tom Dawson, he can't be with us this morning. He really wishes he was, but he had a dentist appointment. But he's going to watch this later. So I want to show a couple of things here. Again, this is a little bit abstract, but so important. A big part of the strength of this painting. All right, look, I mean, we go right to her. And everybody's going to say, yeah, because her forehead's the brightest. And you're right, it is. But the mask is also the darkest. The mask is also the darkest. And you know what? Boom, look how strong that is. Now you don't want to feel a big division. But if you can sneak that feeling in, I hope some of you see that. Oh my God, I hope some of you see that. Because I'm always telling you to do rounds, like over here, maybe a round. Maybe even a round. Right? But not everywhere. Like, not even everywhere up here. What you're going to need to do up here at some point is get a couple, you know, round, straight round, straight round. And again, you're going to have hard and soft edges. Right? Like you alternate hard, soft edges. Think about alternating some of that. Okay, so very, very, very good on here. We're going right here without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think also, Tom, what I would do or consider make sure that shadow red is in there. And then I'm going to get the color red across the front of this. Why? Because red works. Red works. And then we're going to get lighter and grayer for sure on the top of that. Okay, look, so what did we do? We just added color because he already had value, light and dark. But look, guess what else we're going to do, guys? Wow, that surprised me. That surprised me there. So let's... And then, let's see, I would make sure that shadow, that this gray has a shadow. Right, so make a definite difference between your light and the shadow on the gray. But what I did with that gray is I made a bigger spot there, right? Gave some color. So instead of focusing right here, what did we do? We expanded that, and we expanded that, and you already, right? So we just made this more by adding on to it. By adding on to it, okay? So and if we get clean like some clean edges up here, think silhouette, just like we did with the grapes. If I can really silhouette, some hard edges, then that's going to let the interior get that fuzzy, right? All those shadows can climb together. Boom, 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 boom. All right, my friend, that's a couple of things for you right there. That should keep you busy. So let's review what we did here. The first thing we did is that we added to what you've already done so well, right? So I went up to that red headband and I made sure there was light, shadow, a top plane, a side plane, and then I could even highlight that if I wanted. And then something we can do that would make this even more effective is in this background here. What is going on here? Oh, okay. Hold on. I know what I did. I messed up my levels. Here we go. All right, so I could even keep some color back here, but let me flatten this and gray it a little bit, and then I could walk over, and then look how that... Man, that's $1 million painting, buddy. $1 million painting. And then we're already going to look this way. So I wonder if we don't just quiet that down a bit. I wanted to take the yellow out of it because the yellow is so powerful. What do you think, Tom? What do you think, huh? 12, 15, what, 12,000, 15,000? What are you going to charge for this one? I'm going to look forward to that 10% of 15,000. Boy, woo! That'll be a nice dinner out. All right, buddy. You know, what could finish this? What could finish this? So if I go right here in the eye and get a really hard edge, and then I was able to even out this gray next to it by just having that as flat. Do you see how that carries? And there you have it. There you have it. We didn't even get to talk about highlights. This is before we get to highlights. Man, you guys are fun. Man, you guys are fun. All right, I usually don't talk like this often, but you just shut your mouth, Susan. You just shut your mouth, maturing look. Oh, my little baby. My little baby. Stop it. All of you, stop it. All right. All right, glad you liked it, Claudia. Yes, very nice, Tom. Small moves. Oh, so good you saw that, Shakti. Yeah, it's, you know, these small moves in the right direction, and when you get it all right, if we're having to push too hard, it's the harmony of it all. Okay, and notice is I didn't make anything too quote-unquote pretty, did I? But it's still very effective. It's in the right place at the right measure. Yes, that's right. Tom is getting better with age. Tom is getting better with age. Not only is Tom getting better with age, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but it wasn't too long ago that he had open heart surgery. He had open heart surgery, and now he's back painting. Jesus, paintings for the Met. Excellent, buddy. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, guys. Well, we promised you candlelight. We promised. I don't want to leave this. Look at this. Boom. Look at that. All right. So, I need a little satisfaction too, right? This can't be all about you guys. So let's just enjoy this replay real quick. Enjoy this replay. Oof. That happened too fast, but that was good. That was good. Okay, so Miss Wendy. Boy, you're going to be sorry you ever asked anything. So she had quite a bit of questions here. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find her questions. Let's see. So the photo looks much harsher. Issues with light from the candles. Where else should I feather it in? And that's where I'm going to focus on today, because that's a big study. But everything I say about that will apply to everything else. So we'll see what we can do in 10 minutes here. I may go a few minutes over, Wendy, if you don't mind. You're watching the rerun anyway, so you're good. The bread, the challah, is much softer looking in person, but it looks like harsh divisions in the bread. Okay, yeah. Each piece of the bread's kind of cut and isolated from the others. So we need to open some edges there. Okay. More subtle variation in values. All right. Background and shadow. So that's a lot, Wendy. I don't know if we're going to be able to answer all of that, but let's get started. So before we start, maybe let's spend a few minutes looking at flames. Now, I think this is a different artist. If I remember right, I think this is a Matthew Almy is his name. A-L-M-Y, maybe. These are all from my personal collection, and the things I've just taken for inspiration or to see how he did a flame. So, do you guys remember that orange study of Janie? That was pretty nice, huh? Oh, that was good times. Good times. Well, do you remember a highlight? Do you remember us going from a highlight to a blanched? Do you remember us from going to blanch to a richer color? And then fading off in the air? Again, everything is a pattern. And so we need to learn these patterns. But how big is the glow of that highlight? I mean, the candlelight. Now, it says, look, we're glowing. You see the light right there, the light hitting the top plane of that, the shadow, that dark shadow there. Can anybody guess what that is right there? Can anybody guess what that is? Can you guys read paintings yet? Poor daddy. You don't be laughing at me, Susan. Don't be laughing at me. Poor daddy. Oh, you guys are going to see me cry a lot. You guys are going to see me cry a lot over that girl. You're going to see me cry a lot over that girl. So what's happening with that candlelight? Well, that's not the only light source in here. Because look, that's a shadow from the candle, the light of the candle. I don't know you need things like that all the way in there, but it's amazing these little things we left. Hey, hey, did he open an edge? Did he? Hey, you left your gate open. You let the cattle's gonna get out. Isn't that the point? The cattle, let the cattle out. Did this hard edge go right to the? Does this have a hard edge going right to the edge of that flame? Or did that flame eat those edges away? Again, so he's painting glow. Right? Okay. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, so here, look at the background. Look at the back. That's a dark background on this one. This is a guy, Juan Ramirez. He's back east. And it's been a lot of fun on Facebook. I don't know that this guy even knows I exist or know about him at all. And I like that. I like to watch a lot of painters. Unfortunately, with the workload last year, I haven't been on much. But I would scroll through Facebook, just artist after artist after artist. You know, and they're posting daily, and, you know, not everything's good. But every now and then, boom. Now, this guy did not sit down and just knock this out. Yeah, it's small. It's a little study. But he studied fire. He studied light. He studied it. Right? He did many, many studies. And that's why he can blow our freaking mind with his flames. Do you see this isn't the same color as that? Lighter, blanched out, pure white. A little, so that's like a blanched out yellow. Going into the color of yellow. Going through yellow to orange and red. And down to a warm brown. He's also got some cool release in purple over here. And blue. Do you think we could go from this yellow to this yellow if there was no purple or blue? It would not work. It would not work. The question is always how much. You guys don't believe me? Okay, let's see. Let's see. All right. I'm feisty now that Susan's making fun of me losing my little girl. A little feisty. So let's see. What if we instead took like this and continued it over here? And let's take maybe that. It still works, but what you're going to see, each of these little things we take away, it slowly starts to die. That's the exact way it's built. Right? With each one of these little things, it's born. All right, come on, we're on a time schedule. We're not, what are we on vacation here? How's that about some glow? So what I'm wondering, Wendy, what if we took this background color and now yours is totally different. the relationships between every. So look. So, but what if? I know we don't have all of this, but what if we did make that? You see that warmer versus the blue gives more of an infinite glow than a wall. Right, so light isn't always about the surface area it's covering, but it's a lot more about that value relationship and how you get from one to the other. Okay. Just curious, would that work down here? And I think this would work down here, but this seems a little bit maybe a little bit heavy. Because I'm thinking about that red wine against this. All right, and then like I feel okay. I think I've also found another problem here, Wendy. So, I don't know what this is. If it's shadow, it doesn't make sense. And if it's a pattern, it doesn't read as pattern. It's like part of it reads as pattern and part of it reads as shadow. And we always want to avoid like, you see how the edge of the cup then goes straight into that, because it's hard to read and it's not very clarifying. So I would clarify your light and your shadow. And if the light is coming this way, which the highlights are telling me it is, what will happen is this will happen on this side of the glass. Because of transparency. And then the top of that will be a bit lighter, cooler. Okay, if the light's coming in from this way, right, it's going to pass through and light up over there. Oops, too far. Let's see. And then the highlight, you would have a highlight here, and then you would catch a highlight there. On the wine right there. Follow that glass down on the wine right there. Okay, so maybe a background a little bit more like that is what we need. Whoops. I was trying to soften this up, but evidently, what was I working here? Round rough. There we go. Okay, so I know that's not everything you wanted, Wendy, but maybe we can start with that and get some more. I did want to show you right? We don't have to do quite as tight as Juan, right? I believe this is a Daniel Gearhart's. Do I have that right? I don't know. I'm not sure that's his signature. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But you can still have some glow, but I want you to notice that halo's pretty small. And then notice how he's kept that constant graying off. Even though he's got little specks of color here and there, it basically follows a pattern that we've seen before. Now he has a little more color than most do. You catching with the color, the white, blanched color, and as we go from light to shadow, we go from cooler to warmer. $901. Really warms it up. Yeah, that thing warms up the background quite a bit. Quite a bit. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful day. I hope this helped out a ton. A ton. All of you are so great. Wendy, keep pushing forward with this. Right? I know it feels a little disharmony now, but a little bit at a time, we're going to bring it back, and you're going to kill this thing. All right, so Thursday morning, that's it for this week of free programs. Tomorrow morning, we'll have class. So Group A, Group B, both be going. Check into the school for that. We'll be back Sunday night on Facebook for Sketch Club Live. Love all of you. So proud of all of you. Go be beautiful. Spread that beauty. Bye, everybody. Thank you.